Warning: the following podcast contains adult language and childish comedy. Listener discretion is advised. And now, please adjust your headphone volume to an unreasonable level and enjoy the most dynamic and electrifyingly entertaining podcast ever to conquer cyberspace. This is
Amish Baby Machine.
Friends, and welcome to the most powerful podcast ever created, the Amish Baby Machine Podcast, starring me, Dags, and Johnny Rage. The Amish Baby Machine Podcast is a powerful American pop culture podcast. And now, somewhere driving on the powerful roads of America is Johnny Rage.
Here's Johnny. How you doing, Dags? Welcome.
Good. We're doing good.
You know, I don't take kindly to imposters taking over my seat last week. What's up with that, Dags? You never told me about that. Our contract specifically says Johnny Rage and Dags. It doesn't say Dags and Simon, or did I miss something?
Well, there was that powerful 80s show, Simon and Simon.
There's also Simon and Schuster.
Simon Says, powerful toys, Simon.
Simon from America's Got, or from what's that stupid American Idol? How many more Simon?
America's Got Talent, British.
Simon Cowell.
Simon's Got Talent. Now, fans, flock of Amish, welcome. Today's powerful episode, me and Johnny Rage enjoyed Spider-Man. We're going to be talking about that. Also, don't forget, we have powerful merch. Go to our website, AmishBabyMachine.com.
Well, you know, Dags, I've always done my broadcast from a remote parking lot, Burger King, as you always say. I really wanted to step outside of the box, and I wanted to try something never done before on the Amish Baby Machine. I am physically driving as I do this podcast. I thought it was time, it called for me to do this. So as we're talking, conversating back and forth, I'm physically driving. I want to see if this can be done, how successfully it can be done. And then I can report anything that I see from different areas. I need like a sign, broadcasting live podcast, Amish Baby Machine. And I could go to areas and I should actually stop and talk to people.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, do that. Yeah, stop and talk to someone. That's cool. We could get like one of those powerful vinyl wraps for your powerful pickup.
I should. Amish Baby Machine. But anyway, I should try to flag somebody down. That was just kind of an afterthought. But I'm such a powerful individual. I don't know if I want to give up the microphone. When the flock wants me, they don't want an ordinary citizen stepping in. So it might not be good if I do go grab just an ordinary.
No, I think it'll be powerful because you'll be in charge.
Large and in charge? Well, you know what? I'm not too far away from, I don't know how this would work. This is so last minute. I'm not far away from the movie theater. I should pull in there and ask some unsuspecting individuals if they saw Spider-Man as they're coming out, what their thoughts were. You and I will share our thoughts, of course, but find out what America thought.
I'm game.
Are you game?
This is powerful, yes.
Oh, this is good stuff. There's something empowering about broadcasting live on a podcast and driving at the same time. It just feels manly. There's something about this. I don't know.
I feel the manness from you too.
God, I'm intoxicated as I drive and talk.
Yes.
Yes.
When you remember the flock of Amish, it's very powerful.
I just want to honk my horn like a young child. Remember, you'd always pump your fist to the semi-truck? I just feel like even without anybody asking me to, I just want to toot my horn here.
Why don't you flash some truckers while you're at it?
Okay, I might do that.
Honk the horn for us right now.
You hear that?
Powerful.
Yeah, I know. Now, I might get arrested if I go up to some woman in a parking lot and say, "What did you think of Spider-Man? You want to see Spider-Man?"
No, it's completely natural.
I know it is. So
just don't talk about your web shooter and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.
Now, Johnny Rage, let's get into the movie, Spider-Man. Far from
Yes,
home.
sir. I am too right now. I'm far from home. Um, I'll kick things off, Dags, because I'm the I know I always say this. I always preface it. I'm not in the Marvel world like you are. You were the one that grew up with the comic books, but it doesn't take long to figure out. I mean, Spider-Man, probably the most recognizable character, even if you weren't a comic book guy when you were a kid. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, we had the powerful TV show
Right.
when you got home from school. Ba-da-da-da-ba-ba, doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But so, but who would you say just of all the superheroes, would you say Spider-Man or Superman would be the most popular one all that can do a show more successfully on their own than any of them?
You know, right now it's maybe Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's no doubt. DC has made a couple of lame attempts with Superman. They're really due. That Batman Superman thing, what a debacle that was, huh? Then of course they came back with Aquaman. That did pretty good. I'm digressing here. I'm going into the DC world on you when we're supposed to be talking about Spider-Man. Let me kick things off about Spider-Man. I thought I was a little burnt out after sitting through the 4-hour Avenger Endgame. Prior to that, seeing, oh, I can't remember. We've seen so many movies. I really lose track. But I enjoyed it. I think I enjoy watching one superhero at a time versus when a collaborated effort. When there's 5 or 6 or 10 of them, like of course Endgame was. Because I really enjoyed also Spider-Man's Nemesis with Tom Hardy. Give me that one again.
Venom.
Yeah, Diggs. Venom.
So what was your question?
Well, I think I really enjoyed Venom because it was only Venom, and I enjoyed Spider-Man because it was only Spider-Man. There wasn't 5 or 6 other superheroes that you had to follow. Because I don't know the superhero world, and all of a sudden you got these guys that show up, and I'm like, well, who's this guy? And what kind of superhero? It kind of all gets muckety muck. Where yesterday I felt comfortable with the story because I know Spider-Man. Of all of them, I know him the most. And I felt comfortable in the storyline with him because I know a little bit about his background, his superpowers. Whereas when I went into Endgame, I saw superheroes coming out of the woodwork that I just didn't know who they were. And to me, it was kind of hard to follow all that, understand how they fell into the picture, what their superhero powers were. And it was just a big mumble jumble mess of a fight at the end, where Spider-Man had humor. He's a high school kid, goes off on a tour, a summer vacation. And we talked about this yesterday. They added an element of comedy, which they always do. And he just wants to kind of get away from being Spider-Man, but of course he's drawn into it. And I enjoyed it. That's my initial reaction. Now give me your initial thought.
So I went into it. It's a joint venture between Columbia and Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures, and Marvel Studios. So it was kind of I thought it was going to be Marvel, but it's actually kind of a transition where they're both using both studios. So that I thought that was refreshing because a lot of times I think the Disney movies, Marvel Studios, all have the same feel. And you approach things when you're a corporation, you approach everything as kind of the same way, And this to me felt like it was fresh and it was different. So I went into it with an open mind. I actually laughed out loud on some of the things.
Did you really?
Yeah, some of the jokes I actually laughed at.
Do you remember what comes to mind or not? Or just
the kids, the interaction of the kids.
Okay.
Spider-Man's friend and how he hooked up with that girl.
Yeah, that was funny. You never saw that coming, did you?
So I actually liked the teenage movie part of it, maybe even better than the superhero part.
Yeah.
Because what I didn't like the villain, the hero/villain, Mysterio, to me, out of all Spider-Man's villains is stupid. You know, he's got the fishbowl on his head, and all he does is special effects.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a little plot twist into him, his character.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, he was the weakest thing. And then like we were talking about off air, the Godzilla, like the elementals, you know, the creatures. The creatures were kind of lame. You know, they had to investigate an unnatural storm and the elementals and superpowers. You know, like they had one that looked like a molten man and one was a hydro man. Those were kind of cliched and dumb. What'd you think?
I don't know about that. I thought that was kind of a cool creature to have. I mean, we've seen just about everything else. I thought that was kind of clever and I kind of thought that was cool. I didn't understand how this guy is an illusionist and what he was doing was just portraying himself as a superhero so he'd get fame and fortune, that he saved the world, but it was all done by illusion. Well, if it's truly an illusion, how can you be killed or do that much destruction? An illusion doesn't do that. So that didn't make sense to me. I couldn't connect that. How? Maybe you can explain that, because an illusion is an illusion. It's not the actual thing happening.
I know. I didn't like that part either.
Yeah, it's just like, well, wait a minute. If this is an illusion, if the bus is getting lifted and thrown off a bridge, that really shouldn't happen. It'd be like, I don't know. So it really wasn't an illusion because it was actually happening. But I understood the premise. He created it all himself, but it was more an illusion. It was actually happening. But other than that, I thought it was a cool premise, a cool storyline. It wasn't I did like the creatures that you're talking about, the elementals, but it's right out of the movie of, well, I can't say it's right out of the movie because Godzilla and this were probably made at the same time, but they were uncovered from far off destinations and they discovered them, in these remote locations, kind of like Rodan and Planet Zero or Monster Zero. Right out of the Godzilla movie, same thing. That was the last movie. We were talking about that yesterday, remember? We said what was our last movie that we saw? Well, there's our answer. I just came up with it.
Powerful.
It was Godzilla. It was Godzilla. And I think we did a complete breakdown. Did we even talk about that on the podcast or not?
What was that?
We must have. About Godzilla.
Yes.
Okay, because we were wondering if the last movie we saw was Endgame, and I'm like, no way. So I'm just waking up to the fact, telling you, Dags, it was actually Godzilla. So, but yeah, a new twist. But I didn't like the illusions that were actually real life fact. I lost touch with that at that point, but
I'm done. I'm tired of drones. What is with the drones? Drones are like the modern day zombies now.
Yeah.
I mean,
good point.
Yeah, just like too many drones.
I'm trying to think, where else did you see them though?
Oh, what was the car chase one with the drones? Was that Venom?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, there's just drones everywhere.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's been any other movies other than that, but yeah, I mean, that doesn't bother me because that's kind of current day too. I mean,
what was weird though is they fought a lot during the day. Like I always
so they didn't have your filters.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Sepia tone. Yeah, you begged for that. I wonder if by listening to this podcast, if it didn't have some influence on how they did that.
Well, it is the most powerful podcast ever created.
It is.
Yes, and we want to thank all the listeners. Like we said before, make sure you go to AmishBabyMachine.com. Check out our merch. Also, if you want to help support the show, Patreon.com. We also have a link on AmishBabyMachine.com. And make sure you follow us on all social media. Twitter, I'm on Twitter 24/7 at AmishBMachine. Let me know what you think of the show. Also on Instagram, Amish Baby Machine. Make sure you like our Facebook page. We also have all our podcasts now upload to YouTube, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell. That way you know when a new episode comes out.
You ring my bell, ring my bell.
Now, what's the deal with there's no more secret identity anymore. You ever notice that everyone takes their masks off?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I mean, it wasn't done. You're talking about Spider-Man yesterday,
Yeah, he had his mask off more than he had it on.
but he was with people who knew he was already Spider-Man, though.
No, he had everyone knows he's Spider-Man now. What's up with that too?
Are you talking about that little clip at the end?
Well, that this whole show is going to be spoiler alert, so we should talk about the ending too. But even when he got together with Mysterio, remember he said like, "Oh, just take your mask off. You don't need it."
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of like two guys who are superheroes that understand each other, and why would you hide your identity to another superhero or alleged superhero? There's really no reason to.
No, well,
You
what's
know.
the whole point then? You got to have the powerful secret identity. That's part of it.
Well, I mean, to most of the world, I mean, and that's why he made him change the costume
Yeah, but everyone
over.
knows. I mean, his Aunt May knows, and his girlfriend knows, and his little heavyset friend knows, and Mysterio knows, and
Happy knows.
yeah, that's a lot of no's. We want more
How about?
yeses.
Yeah, I guess. How difficult would that be, though, realistically, if that was a true story to keep your identity? Um,
Well, probably the easiest way to keep a secret identity is to wear a pair of glasses, like Clark Kent.
yeah, that really hides
Yeah, you put
his
the
look,
glasses
doesn't
on,
it?
that's it.
I
Or you
you
disguise your
take
voice like Batman. I'm Batman.
you're when you talk about hiding your identity, I immediately think of a Scooby Doo episode. You know, at the very end, how they would always reveal who the ghost was or who the monster was, and it was always some cheesy little mask at that time, and Mr. Furley, you know,
Mr. Furley.
or
Mr. Roper.
whatever, Mr. Roper or Mr. Johnson. You know, they always would do that reveal at the very end. Even the guy that owned like the hotel, he was the one that called them in, and they turned out he was the one that actually was the ghost because he was trying to get like insurance money or something. But that was one of the many Scooby Doo episodes that I watched. That's what I think of when you talk about revealing your identity. Was how it always happened at the end of Scooby Doo episode.
Now, Spider-Man has a ton of cool villains. I would use, the Green Goblin. They need to bring him back, but not have him look in his little Power Rangers thing. I want him to actually look like the Green Goblin,
Mhm,
purple and green.
mhm.
Who was your favorite supervillain? Do you remember from the animated show? There was Scorpion, Rhino. Rhino was
Yeah,
sweet, huh?
yeah. I'm trying to think because I'm battling Diet
Electro.
Coke. Yeah. I'm thinking of three or four different things as you ask me that question. But you know that this isn't done, Diggs. I'm sure they'll bring some of those back to the mix because I think at this point it did about 600 million so far in the box office. So it'll do a billion, no doubt, and definitely it'll on for the next one. They've already kind of set it up for another one, as you might imagine, and so I mean, some of your favorites are probably going to come back, is what I'm saying in the next version.
See, I think they made him too weak too. And what was the deal? I didn't understand. Why didn't he have his spider sense?
I don't know. Is he getting kind of soft? He was kind of losing his identity and is out of touch with Spider-Man because he just wanted to be a kid. He didn't have the the
Well, that was
Spidey tingle.
stupid too. The Peter Tingle. I mean, what the hell is that? It's a
Yeah,
spider sense.
yeah.
So I don't know maybe I was sleeping during the movie and I missed it, but I don't know why he didn't have his spider sense. And he's way stronger. He's too short too.
He's a little fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a little fella. And I know he's supposed to be 16 in the movie, but I need him to be more powerful. And why do they need to change the costume so much? They get like a million costume changes like he's Madonna in concert.
Yeah, good point. You like the old traditional Spider-Man that we all know and love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I guess it's just they have I didn't realize he had the ability to kind of customize it too. You know.
Oh, they brought it into the modern age with the Iron Man, the 3D printer and
Right.
But then they had that stupid black one costume.
Yeah, that's because he didn't want to be spotted as Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
England,
I didn't like it.
Spider Monkey.
Yeah, Spider Monkey. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a costume, do it cool. I don't know. I didn't like the black costume. Didn't bother me. The Venom costume.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm more a traditionalist. I want the original costume.
How do you think the CGI is with him um, swinging through the air through the city of New York? Does that look realistic to you, or does that look?
I prefer the Tobey Maguire ones.
Okay,
I
why
think the
is that?
special effects look better in that. I don't know if you remember, but the dude from Wings, the guy with the deep voice, the Hayden Church guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he was in
the cowboy movie. The shootout, the
Tombstone.
OK Corral.
Tombstone. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're so drunk, you probably see two of them. He goes, I'm gonna shoot the one in the middle. Yeah. But anyway, in Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he turned into the Sandman. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I don't.
But there's this powerful scene. I'll have to put it on the powerful show notes. But it's when he becomes the Sandman and he's just a sand and he's trying to form himself, but he just keeps falling apart because he's just loose sand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an amazing CGI scene. And I think in this newer movies, like I don't like too much going on. Like the drones, there's too many drones, too many explosions. And this Sandman scene is just him and this powerful music and this just showing the origin, the birth of him becoming the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful scene. And so, no, I like the other Spider-Mans better.
Too much coming at you on this one?
Well, I just think less is more in film,
Mm-hmm.
Just concentrate on one thing, but they always have too much going on and you can't track it all. So as far as you're seeing him swinging through the city, and it also seemed like he was never in control when he's swinging on his webs.
Yeah.
He's always flipping around, And I understand maybe when he first got the power, he wouldn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But you think after a while he'd be totally efficient at it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, they had a little scene where he's running on the building, but to me it seemed like a little too sloppy.
Mm-hmm. Now, Diggs, I heard you're a swinger in the city. Is that true?
I'm a fool for the city.
Oh, okay. A fool for the city. Yeah. So, yeah, I went in there. I wasn't. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't in the mood for a Marvel movie last night. I haven't seen a horror film in a while, and I'm kind of jonesing for one. I was kind of hoping I could talk into Annabelle at the last second. I am planning on seeing that. I want to see that Midsummer as well too. That looks like a little bit of horror film. But I was pleasantly surprised with because I just thought, okay, what are they going to do now? And they still have that endless battle scene where people get the living shit kicked out of them, but they step up again and go back at it. And I get it, they're superheroes. It's not like you and me would be killed and crushed, but those battles always drag on way too long in my eyes. But I was pleasantly surprised. I thought there was humor. I thought it was done. It was just the Spider-Man versus Mysterio. It wasn't, you know, what do you when you have a group of people? What do you call it?
Ensemble.
It wasn't an ensemble of Avengers. Easier to track, I think. Not that Endgame is that difficult, where there's so many story lines that you can't keep up to it, but um, I was pleasantly surprised, and I did enjoy the movie. So
Now, what I thought was cool is the J. Jonah Jameson.
yeah, you said that at the end.
Yeah, so they're going to set him up. Spoiler alert. J. Jonah Jameson, they're going to set him up as like he's the villain now, Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Make him look like he killed Mysterio.
Yeah, and they're stealing the plot line from DC Comics when they did that with Superman.
They did it with Spider-Man back in the day too, and also
I guess
the
every good villain needs to be framed, I guess. Huh?
yes, it's a common thing. Also, the Skrulls are back.
Yeah, I didn't get that either because I'm not, again, disclaimer alert. I'm not into the Marvel thing, but I've watched it enough now where I can kind of follow along. So now those two were. Explain that to me, Dave.
So Nick Fury and his lady friend were Skrulls. So
yeah, what's up with that?
Well, then there's talk that maybe Tony Stark was a Skrull. I mean, anything can change now with the Skrulls.
Yeah, I did see that. They said that he may come back, maybe, possibly. You gotta, yeah. I mean, do we bet money he comes back to the Marvel universe?
I don't know if he wants to come back though, the actor, you know?
Yeah, come on, money will make him come back. Don't, who are you kidding? He did very well on these movies, no doubt. He doesn't need the money, but one check to get him back to another movie. I mean, what would the draw be like? You know, it wouldn't be shocked. So,
No, you're
put
right.
it that way. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It's all about the Benjamin Grimms. All right, Johnny Rage, what did you think of Spider-Man Far From Home? What is your rating?
In the world of buggy wheels, I'm gonna go 3.5.
3.5.
Yes.
I will also go 3.5.
Wow, we haven't mutually agreed on a movie. I don't think ever. This is a first, Eggs.
Well, I think we have before. It was an overall enjoyable movie. I went into it, not trying to be too hardcore about, being accurate to the comic books. That being said, the best part I thought was towards the end when he was actually fighting as Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little too much backstory. Mysterio was lame. I would have picked another character. But overall, 3.5.
Yeah, this is one of the rare moments I think you've actually said something good about a movie. It's been I don't remember, as a matter of fact, the last movie we attended or you saw even on your own where you had good remarks about it. So history here today on the Amish Baby with Dags actually liking a movie. Wow.
Powerful.
Write it down. Historic.
Powerful. Johnny Rage, thank you for this powerful episode. It is time for you to journey on your vehicle.
Hopefully next week and get a live interview as I'm roving around America.
Yeah, just pull over just random people. That's what you should do, like man on the street interviews.
Yeah.
All right, guys. And until next time, you've just enjoyed the Amish Baby Machine podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast. It is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else fine podcasts are found. Please support our podcast through Patreon and shop our merch at AmishBabyMachine.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This has been an Amish Baby Machine production.